Hi guys, my name is Andre aka Mark Renton, and obviously you see my location changed a little bit, so I'm just visiting my parents and this is my room. So yeah, I have the minimum setup here with me, which is always one of the Elektron machines, right? And my laptop and an audio interface so that I can spend the time here to do some stuff. Yeah, but what is this about? I'm really happy with the Digitone and I really digged in there the last day or days, and I thought I really want to get a Digitakt. So before I'm going to buy a Digitakt, I really want to make sure that I know what the machine drum is capable of in case of sampling, so like as a groove box. So what you can do is, if you remember, I already have done a video on sampling on the machine drum, but you can basically get the input stored in the RAM, in the memory, and then reuse it and do crazy stuff with that. But as soon as you turn off the machine, it's done. And there is a procedure called copy RAM to ROM machine to a read-only memory, which technically is a flash memory, doesn't matter. So long story short, you can store samples in the machine, but not much. I think just a few seconds or so. So this is what I would like to do with an aim and break, to do some kind of junglism with the machine, on the machine, and see what it can do. Let us straight go in here. Yesterday evening I've done already some interesting stuff and I just want to show to you. Let me check, do we get a signal? Yes, we get. Listen to that. Yeah, so what I've done there is I took an amen break, sliced it a little bit, chopped it a little bit, have overdriven it a little bit and sampled it in here and already stored this as a ROM machine. But there's one thing missing. I really would like to have this, oh no, I think it's a crash at the end of the original amen sample. So maybe if you have the time with that, let us chop again the sample and then put it into the machine, stored from a RAM machine to a ROM machine, and then let's see what we can do with that, yeah, and see if really with the limited capabilities we can do some kind of crazy junglism on here, okay? So let's head over to the screen, and what we have here is basically what I showed you before. Just in between, why do you would like to have the sample on the machine drum? First of all, it's fun, right? I mean, these arcade triggers are awesome, right? But the other thing is the machine has this kind of grittiness, I think is the word, what everyone is talking about of the old Akai machines, because it's a 12-bit sampler. So you're doing a sample reduction and remove the signal to noise ratio of the original sample. So either you love it or you hate it, but I think you always have to figure it out for your own or on your own and for your specific song. So let's dig in here again in Ableton Live and see what we can do. I just grab an amen sample. Amen, my brother. Where's the amen? This one. Okay, so let's put this again into Ableton Live. Chop this up. I now do this really quick and fast. There are better tutorials on how to do that. I think I already have shown it already. And as I said already, there's only a few seconds left, I think, for my sample capabilities, and therefore I just want to take not the whole sample, but take the best part out of it and this open crash at the end. That's what I want to have in a machine, okay? So I'm slicing it here to a new MIDI track. Perfect. That's what I want to have. starting from here, taking this one. It's not a perfect loop. I could just loop, but what I would like to do is basically have this thing in the machine and then use different starting points to play the sample. We don't have to loop it even. Nice. So what I could do now is just again bounce it as a WAV file and then pitch up the WAV file, but I think there we lose something. I would like, or maybe I do the work and grab all these own slices and pitch it up a little bit and see how it sounds. If somebody knows if there's a feature how I could fasten this up, let me know. But the way I'm doing it here is going here to the controls and transpose it by 3. See if it's still. Let's see how this sounds. Great. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is add a little bit overdrive. And the way how I do this, how I prefer this is I usually divide between my 3 bands, like heights, middle band and low band, and I check all these bands individually how they sound with adding some distortion. So let's check this out. And therefore I'm adding again this as a loop. Let me show this to you so that we can easily go through it. Okay. So at least in my opinion is what you see there is the heights sound great if you distort them a little bit. They distort them. The low also sounds awesome if we boost them a little bit, but the mids I would keep dry and really would not try to change them. But let's keep it like that. Again, remove the loop, play it. Alright, so let's head over to the machine drum. How's this working? What I set up is the Ableton Live is the master and triggers already the machine drum via MIDI. Yeah? So when I play here, you see on the machine drum that it's been triggered. Then we have looped from my Focusrite audio interface. We are going to use the external output 3 and 4, and when this is being played, it goes straight into the input of the machine drum. So let's check this out. Okay, obviously we can't hear anything because it goes in here directly, but what we can already hear is the machine drum output because I'm recording it straight into the Focusrite to Reaper, using Reaper. Then here on the machine drum, what we need is a recording machine. Let's use the M1, therefore we go to Kit, Edit, go again to the RAM machines, record 1, and just again to sum it up how this works is you have a RAM R1234, which is basically a buffer, and you have a RAM record and a RAM play machine. So these 1, 2, 3, 4 record it to specific buffers, and then you can use them on playhead 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but for sampling we just need 1, so we take 1 onto M1. So whenever we hit the M1, it's going to sample for a specific time, and then we can play it back. So then here on M2 we want to hear it, right? So we need a playhead machine. So we are going to set up this RAM play 1 machine because we want to play buffer 1, right? so that we can straight hear it. Then the next thing, and this is why I hooked it up, that whenever I hit the play button in Ableton, it syncs to my machine drum. Now we say straight recorded, hit the recording trigger, and we have to remember to remove it, because otherwise we overwrite, with every play we overwrite the process of sampling, yeah? So, but right now we enable it. We just play it, make sure that it's not in the loop, let's see. And one more hint, because my loop is these 16 steps long, so I'm using 2 pages so that I had a little bit overhead in case the sample is longer. Yeah, so just as a disclaimer. So let's loop it again. Okay, now it should be in here. We disable the recording mechanism. We go out of recording, and whenever here we hit M2, we see it's been cut. Maybe let's try it again and maybe record it a little bit longer. Okay, now we got the whole sample. And we can see it's really on the point already. And if not, we could already tweak it here a little bit. Yeah, so we could set here the start point. Straight out of Compton. And we can do all these funny things we can do with the machine drum. But let's stick to the process. So we have it now as a RAM machine, and as said, when I turn it off now, it's been gone. So now let's store this to a ROM machine. How is this working? Then here in the file menu, we go to the sample manager. And this is super weird. I had to look it up again. I learned this once 2 years back or so. I forgot how to do that. Had to check YouTube channels, YouTube videos, and the manual again to understand everything together. But yeah, it's not quite intuitive, but you have to go here to the global setting, then the file sample manager. Let's go there. And what you see here is your ROM machines, your ROM samples. And by the way, here what you see is I have already some there. So what I did is, for example, back then I recorded the 909 open hi-hat. I think it's such a signature sound, and therefore I recorded it into my machine drum to have it here, and some further things. Yeah, but again, let's say, yeah, and this is again now the weird thing. We have this now in buffer 1, right, if you remember, and therefore we have to go down, down, down here, and we see there we are using 188K. We're going to copy this, copy sample, and you see already 80% use of my machine. We go here to a slot that is available, let's say like this one, and say paste. So paste over sample 40, sure? Yes, we wanna oversample it. Yes, therefore I have to press the enter button, the yes button. 87% used, so you see, really have to manage the machine drums storage, and I think once I have to clean here up again and do some householding, but now for the video let's change it, or let's keep it like this. Yesterday evening I did not really figure out how I rename this again, but it seems like I was able to do so 2 years ago, so let's maybe try it again, just one more second, okay? So I think I'm going to here to rename, say enter, this guy at 40. Yeah, I don't know how to properly name it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I just don't get it. Yeah, but doesn't matter now for the tutorial, but you can rename also these ROM samples and just use it. Yeah, but talking about using, the next thing we have to do here is get out of this stuff. How do get out of here. Okay, funny, there was a glitch. Okay, we say again M2. We have had nothing in here. Why is that? I think because the buffer was cleared also. Doesn't really matter. The next thing what we have to do is change our kit and change from a RAM play 1 machine to a ROM read-only memory to this slot 40, what we just were using. Right, so this guy. See? There it is. And for demo purposes, let's turn this off. Turn it on. And see this wonderful X.04 intro screen. And we have there's still the sample. Awesome, right? Okay, now the next thing is, since we now got an aim break into my marvelous machine drum, let's see if we can sequence something with that. Let's maybe remove the MIDI cable and say we want to have a proper tempo. And see if we can already use the speed we have in here. Just check if there's a sequence. So just for myself to see where we are with the grid, I enable the kick drum that anyhow sounds awesome, so let's keep it. And let's arrange the aim and break. See how the sample sounds when we trigger it on the first position. Sounds already great. Let's just for now disable again the kick and head and focus on the aim and break. The thing what I would like to do is really have some Junglism in between, okay? So therefore let us use further pages and do some things. Let's say scale up again. Scale setup. See what we got. Okay, now it's been just triggered all the time on the first step of each page. Okay, and what I would like to try out, see how this sounds. Already awesome. So, but the thing is, what we would like to do now is not always start on the first, right? But maybe use a different slice point, and let's figure this out. And therefore I'm using the parameter log for each individual trigger to maybe find a snare somewhere, okay? So here we have again the kick, and by the way, in between you saw that you hear some hard cuts, and when the sample has been triggered sometimes and sometimes not. And I mean, this is the limitation of the machine, right? I don't have really accurate per sample possibility now to slice it up, but I think that's also part of the game, right? So let's check this out. Let's try it for the first test, try to find a snare. Let's check this out here. So what is 4, for example? So what I see, I already found some kind of slicing points. So seems like trigger start 11, in my case, is one of the first snares. And I think then, what was it again? 45 was the hi-hat. 28 is the second snare. So let's get some deviation in between here. What was I saying? 45 is the hi-hat. Or crash. Then here 11 another snare. What did I say? What was the second snare? 28. Okay. I think just right for the sequence, it's awesome. Let's maybe pimp the sound a little bit, just invest 1 minute. Okay, let's see what we can do. Isn't that awesome? I think that's really awesome. I just got into the game. Let's just fasten these things up, add another layer. They maybe think a C break or something. Let's see what we have here. And just stay with me 1 minute and see how this sounds. Already awesome. No, let's stick to that. Let's stick to that. We again disable the loop. Now I fasten this thing up, okay, for you. You don't have to see. Quite awesome, I think. So now we can again arrange this again up to for us. just in between I store it as a ROM machine again. And we have the Think LC now in my machine drum. See how it sounds when we overlay it with the Amen. Oh my god, it's really already so much fun playing around with the filter on the Amen, just getting ideas how to slice the Think LC and use the slices differently. So awesome. Maybe if I take this to the next level and really do some stuff, but I think this is already worth doing at least 4 tracks with that. Yeah. So hope you enjoyed the video and maybe you learned something and got some impressions and maybe some ideas what you also could do. Please leave me a comment and also let me know what you think about this, what I'm doing here. It's really a pleasure always to read your comments. So talk to you soon. Bye.